Hey gamers, it's Kristin and it's time for another 4 Looks 1 Palette. If you are new to these or new to my channel, which a lot of you are, first of all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for coming to check out my channel. I know a lot of you came from the very sweet words that Emily shared about me. She is as beautiful inside as she is outside, and she's a true blessing in my life. So if you guys are coming from her channel, thank you so much for being here and checking out my channel. So this is a series that I have done for years now. I have over 50 of them, if I remember correctly. I've done lots of different palettes. I've done these different ways, but I'll list the playlist below so you can go and see if there's a palette that you love that you want to get some new inspiration for. And that's what I do with these videos. I will take a palette and I will do a look 4 days in a row, and then give a review and swatches at the end. So today we are doing the Urban Decay Born to Run. This is the first palette in a really long time that I saw and I was excited to do something on. I just think that in the past year, five years or something like that, it's just been palette onslaught. I feel like they used to come out with palettes here and there, and just lately, like I said, it's been palette onslaught. And I don't know, this is just the first one I've been excited about in a long time. So what I'm gonna do is, hopefully, I've had some requests. I'm going to try to do this where I'm filming as I'm putting the look on it, and I'll stick that in here. If it doesn't end up working, then I'll go back to my old way again. But anyway, so what I did today is I used a fluffy brush. The brush that you're seeing or you saw is the Smith 232, and I took the shade in Still Shot right here, and I used that in my crease, just really kind of blended it out, buffed it out. And then I took a flat shader brush. I used the MAC 239, and I took the shade in Big Sky right here, and I just patted that all over the lid. Then I used a Wayne Goss brush. It looks like this one, and it's in the it's the number 17. And I went in with Punk, and I just deepened up that crease. I was trying to do something just a little bit different. And then, if I remember correctly, the next thing I did was I used this is a Sigma, old Sigma, but it's like the MAC 217, and I went in with Breakaway. This is a really nice brightening, and also you can kind of clean up. You see how I do that on the side, clean up shade. And then beneath my lower lash line, I used the Goss number 5 brush, which is a really nice small pointed pencil brush. And I took Big Sky along my lash line first, then I wiped that brush off, and then just kind of on the edge of it, I used Still Shot again. I have my window, I have the windows open because it's beautiful outside, but it's like the truck time this morning where all the trucks are going by. Anyway, so it's a little bit different of an eye that I normally do, but I wanted to, I don't know, I was drawn to that blue and I wanted to use it first. So let me go ahead and zoom you in. So here's the look. The only other thing I did on my eyes was I took the Tarte liner, this is the brown that I'm working through currently, in Moonstone, and I lined my upper waterline. On my cheeks today, I have MAC's Mineralized Blush in Warm Soul. It's a delightful little glow. And then on my lips, I have Charlotte Tilbury's Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk, the Charlotte Tilbury Lipstick in Pillow Talk. And then over the top of that, I have Becca's Gloss in, I think it's Rose Gold. Yep, Rose Gold. All right, for my second look, I took that same fluffy brush, I think that I used yesterday, if I remember correctly, the Smith 232, and I went into the shade Riff, excuse me, which is right here. And I just, really laid that down into the crease nicely. And then on the outer 2/3 of my crease with a MAC, a flat, same as I used yesterday, I believe MAC 239 flat brush, I used the shade in Double Life. Again, on the outer 2/3. Then I took the Sonia Kashuk 106 brush, which is just a little bit smaller. I like it for sort of, inner third work. And on that inner third, I used the shade in Stranded, which is right there. And then I went back to that 239 and I just kind of blend between the lines. Hopefully the video is showing that. I just kind of blend between the lines and make it more of an even sort of like ombre-ish. A little fade from one end to the other. And then I took the Wayne Goss, what is this brush? Number 18 brush, and I sort of stamped the shade Good As Gone, which is right here, on the outer corner, and then I switched to a fluffy crease brush, not quite as big as the other one. The one I used there is the Goss, it's the 19 brush, and just really blended that out. I didn't want, this one was a little big for blending, so I didn't want it to get sort of all over, so I placed it with the color and then switched over to that one. And then I lined my upper waterline and lower line with the Essence liner in Black Love. And then I used a fluffier pencil brush, so a little bit fluffier than like the Goss 05 that I used yesterday. And I blended that, you know, underneath my eyes with Riff, the shade in Riff. And then I switched to a push liner brush. This is the Pro Flat Definer by Beauty Junkies. And I took that Good Is Gone shade again up at right at my lash line to kind of soften that line between the black liner and my lash line. And I think that that is everything. Oh, you know what? Also, I took a small angled brush and I went in with Jet, which is right here, just on my upper lash line. And I think that's everything. So let me zoom you in. Okay, so here's the look. On my cheeks today, I have the Estee Lauder blush in Lovers. I think it's, I can never remember. Yes, Lovers. And then for that delightful highlight, I have Becca's highlight in Vanilla Quartz. And on my lips today, I used the Mary Kay lipstick, and it's mauve something. Let me just look. Mauve Moment, just looks like that. And then I wanted that kind of rosy tone, but I didn't want it quite that bright. So I toned it down a little bit with Becca's Glow Gloss in Opal. All right, for my third look today, I'm trying to make myself use some of the colors. I'm really drawn to, you know, the neutrals, of course, but I'm really trying to use some of the colors. So what I did was I took a fluffy crease brush. This is the Pro Tapered Crease Brush by Beauty Junkies, and I used the shade in Hell Ride in my crease and really buffed that out. Then I took a MAC 239 and I went in with the shade Blaze right here all over my lid. Then I took this is a MAC 217, and I took Drift, which looks sort of eggplant here, but I would say it applies on the eyes a little more charcoal, almost blue. I'm like looking to kind of see what I'm trying to say there, but it looks, you know, it looks like it's gonna be a really cool eggplant gray, whatever, but it pulls a little bit differently on the eyes, which doesn't surprise me. So a lot of grays will pull more blue like that. But anyway, I took that and worked that into the crease. Then I went again to this little brush that I always use for cleanup, and I went into Breakaway and I really toned down that pink. It was just a little too pink for me, and the look was starting to look a little bit of like what I did in high school. Not quite, but you know. And so I toned that down just a little bit, and I do like how that look. It's just how that looks. It's a little bit different. It's, you know, some warmth to the crease against that cool outer V shade. And then I went ahead with a MAC 219 and I took Drift beneath my lower lash line, and I also lined my upper lash line just with the angle. This is the, what is this one? The Sigma small angled brush, just on my upper lash line with that same Drift shade as well. So let me go ahead and zoom you in. Okay, so here's the look. The only other thing I did was, like, you can see the wind's blowing my curtains. I promise you there's no ghost back there. I lined my upper waterline with a black liner. And then on my cheeks today, I used MAC's blush in Dainty. I turn as if you would like, for a better angle. And then on my lips today, I used the Makeup Forever lip liner in 3C. I went over that with the White Russian lipstick from Buxom. And then over the top of that with the White Russian gloss. All right, for my fourth and final look, I started by using the Pro Crease brush from Sephora. This is the number 10 brush. And I went into the shade Weekender, which is, I kind of wish it was just a little bit darker, but at any rate, that is the shade that I put in the crease. And then I went in with my MAC 239 and I took the shade Smog, which is right here, and I laid that down all over the lid. Then I went in with a MAC 219 and I went into the shade Punk to bring just a little bit of warmness. This is kind of cool. So I was bringing in a little bit of warmness with the shade Punk. And then on the, beneath my lower lash line, I went in with a pencil brush by, this is the one by MAC, it's a 219. And I used Wanderlust beneath my lower lash line. Again, I cleaned everything up using the shade in Breakaway, which is this one right up here. And I used that same brush that I have been using all week just to clean up on the outer edge and underneath my brow bone. And I think that that's everything today. So let me go ahead and zoom you in. Okay, so here's the look. How do you like when I started that? I had like eyeshadow dust right here on my forehead. Goodness. I mean, I just, you know, it is what it is with me. So on the rest of my face, I just lined my upper waterline with the Moonstone Brown from Tarte eyeliner that I'm working through. On my cheeks today, I used the Marc Jacobs Blush and Lines and Last Night. And I stayed mostly down here. I wanted more of this peachiness, not this coral, more of just the peachiness. So that's what I have on my cheeks today. And then for lips, I used the Unique Lip Liner in Prudent. And then over the top of that, I went in with MAC's Kinda Sexy. And lastly, I used the Rimmel 3D Stay Glossy and Popcorn for 2. So I'm going to go ahead now and give you some swatches. Breakaway, Stranded, Blaze, and Weekender. So Breakaway, Stranded, Blaze, and Weekender. And I feel like Blaze isn't swatching as nicely. It's kind of a duochrome. There, you can see a little bit better there. It's really pretty. Again, and then Weekender. Still Shot, Riff, Good Is Gone, and Hellride. Still Shot, Riff, Weekender, and Hellride. No, that's a lie. Good Is Gone and Hellride, sorry. And then Baja, Accelerate, Guilt Trip, and Ignite. Baja, which I have to tell you didn't swatch very well. It's one of the ones I wasn't able to use because I obviously only did 4 looks. But I thought that would have swatched better. Accelerate swatched really nicely. Guilt Trip and then Ignite is gorgeous. Smog, Wanderlust, Wild Heart, and Punk. Smog, Wanderlust, Wild Heart, and Punk. And then Double Life, Jet, Drift, and Radio. So Double Life, Jet, Drift, and Radio. And then lastly is Big Sky. Let's put that one up here. You guys saw that on my lid on the first look, I think. Alright, so this palette sells for $49. It sells where you can buy Urban Decay on their site, Ulta, Sephora. It's not exclusive to one or the other. You know, sometimes palettes will be exclusive to either Sephora or Ulta. It looks like it's available at both. And again, sells for $49. There are 21 shades in here. 8 of the shades are mattes, and the rest are shimmers. Some of them have, like I said, kind of a duochrome sort of shift to them. Blaze is one of those. Guilt Trip, the purple one, is one of those as well. Wild Heart has a little bit of that to it as well. I really like this. I'm happy that I purchased this. I will not be returning this. That's one of the things I always, you know, try to come back to you guys at the end and let you know whether it's something I feel like I would continue to use. There's a lot of shades that I like in here. I wish that it had a mid-tone cool transition shade. That's just would be one of my, I think that Ignite and Double Life, this shade and the shade here are similar enough. I mean, they are different, but you probably could have gotten rid of one of those and done a cooler sort of mid-tone shade. This one, you can see on the look today, you can't see it so much as you apply it, but it can really, it can help to blend out. So it's more of a blending out shade. This is a beautiful, warm transition shade. That's the one in Riff. So I really like this. The wear on these was fine for me. I didn't have any issues with wear. I heard a couple people comment on that. I will tell you what I wore on my eyes and the rest of my face throughout all of the videos here in a second, in case you're curious what I use for primer. But I didn't have any fading issues. I didn't have any creasing issues. I thought that they were very blendable, both the mattes and the shimmers. And I felt like the shimmers, you know, blended okay onto each other as well, like blended into each other. Sometimes there are issues with that. So I was pleased with that. There's a little bit of kick up when you put your brush into it. Let me just show you. So I put my brush into this one right there, and you can see there's a little bit of kick up there, but nothing like a Lorac or whatever. I love me some Lorac shadows, but we all know that we all know they kick up some dust. So overall, I am pleased with this. I'm really happy with it, and I will absolutely be keeping it in my collection. So I hope that that was helpful to you guys and that you enjoyed the looks. On the rest of my face throughout the video, every day for primer, I use the Becca First Light Priming Filter. For foundation, and I will have a review coming on this soon. This is the YSL Touche Éclat. I am in the shade B10. For concealer, I'm still using this. On my face, this is the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. I can't even tell you what shade it's in anymore. There is like no, I'm gonna use this. If it's the last thing I do, I'm gonna use it all up. For underneath my eyes, I use the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer. And for over the top of my foundation, I use the powder, the Burberry Trench Powder in 01 to set everything. And I just, in case you're curious, I've just been lately using a big fluffy brush like this and really just kind of pushing it into my skin. And underneath my eyes, I use the By Terry Hydra Powder, Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. You know the one. For eyebrows, you can't tell anymore because it's completely worn off. This is the Winky Lux. It had like an Aztec print on it when I originally got it, but I used the Winky Lux. And then I think, for primer, I used Urban Decay Primer Potion, which is my favorite. Over the top of that, I used MAC Painterly Paint Pot. That is the primer that I use, and then I put like I was gonna say clear, like a cream colored shadow over all of that just to ease with blending. And then lastly for mascara, the whole video I had the YSL Faux Cils mascara. I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you've never seen one of my 4 looks one video, welcome. I really hope you enjoyed it. I have a playlist below if there's another palette you'd like to see what I did this with. And I think that is that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you're having a great day, and in everything that you do and say, be beautiful. Bye.